Despite downtown businesses being all boarded up here in Madison, one of the city's real estate moguls taking it upon himself to show peace and love to shopkeepers in his own unique way. Despite downtown Madison being all boarded up, one Madison area real estate mogul showing peace and love to shopkeepers in his own special way. Awesome. Just look at me. You know, this, okay. You're standing in front of history right now, and I don't like to put adjectives in people's mouths, but to me, I'm heartbroken seeing what's happened to your friend's business, and you know, what are the words that are kind of going through your minds looking at this?
Well, I grew up in Madison, and we're used to, dissent and people expressing themselves. What we're not used to is senseless violence, and it's very sad. Paul's books, Carol Askins is one of my mother's best friends, and they've been around here probably since the 50s. And, you know, it's not easy for small businesses anyway, but for then people to come along and trash a business of somebody who does nothing but good in the world and has nothing to do with this thing, it's just really sad.
This has been like the case all over. You know, we have businesses that say, I'm for Black Lives Matter, I'm a minority-run business, and yet they're still being vandalized. To the point where, as we know, insurance in many cases may not be able to cover all of this.
Correct, right.
Talk to me a little bit about that concern that you have as a business owner yourself and your worry for them.
Sure. Well, you know, we're all in this together, right? You know, and these small businesses are really the heartbeat of this country. And everybody who's started a small business has taken a risk. You know, they've got their life on the line, they've got their heart in it. And so you know, as a fellow business person, I can't help but be touched and saddened when they're facing something like this.
So you decided, I don't know if it was overnight and it was yesterday, or maybe you've been thinking about this ever since that first rock into Goodman's was thrown. But talk to me a little bit about, you know, the impetus and the reason for what you decided to do to secure this army of help.
Well, actually, you know, we're all trying to figure out what we can do to help, and sometimes it's money, sometimes it's other things. And actually just started this morning when I called my mother, and she'd said that Carol had this, you know, the windows broken, and I just said, can I get some of our maintenance staff to come down and clean up for her? And it turns out the windows were boarded, and she didn't need it for now. But it just got me thinking. We've got 15 people that work for us, maintenance people and cleaning people and so forth, that, you know, I'm just happy to dispatch them down here to help out when the volunteers can't do enough. But then we've also reached out, we build apartments, and we've reached out to some of our contractors, and I've already this morning gotten a commitment from Olson Toon Landscaping, Ace Electric, and Dave Jones Plumbing to volunteer their services when these businesses can't get things taken care of right away. They will come down and take care of it, and free of charge. So, you know, we can't take care of all of the problem, but we can help out here and there, and that's what we want to do.
You know, having those connections in a moment like this, I'm always grateful they go so I know that's going to lead to that same thought. You know, I'll just wait till they go around. So going back to that thought, having those connections, it took just one phone call, it sounds like. And what were their reactions? Olson Toon and the plumbing company, I mean, were they just immediately on board? Were they feeling it in their hearts too? Immediately
on board. You know, there are a lot of good people here, people that want to help out. You know, Dave Jones Plumbing, they had already given $5,000 to help out the merchants. Olson Toon gives a lot of their resources, and I'm sure Ace Electric does too. I mean, it didn't even take a second for them to say, yeah, we're in. And I'm sure we'll have other ones before the day is over.
You know, when you see this, you know, outpouring, what does your heart say about all of that?
Well, it's just, you know, you face this, you feel sad, and then you see what comes behind it, and you feel good. I think that, you know, essentially, the people that are participating in the violence, the people that have perpetrated this horrible thing, are a tiny minority. Most people are really good, and given a chance, they want to help. And sometimes it's just, you know, okay, they've been thinking about doing something. This is a way, here you go, and they're in.
How confident are you that with your support and the community behind you, Michael supports you in that emergency fund, are you that State Street will rebound, that this will not, you know, be the end of State Street?
Oh, you know, we're old enough, I am anyway, old enough to have seen a lot of turmoil over the years. Things happen. It was 9/11, and before that we had the Depression. There's all kinds of things that you think knock you back, but we're resilient. People are resilient. No, this will come back. I think there's just a pent-up energy in people that have been quarantined for a while. Once this is all beyond us, they're going to be back just to the way they were before.
What do you want to see happen to Paul's and to these other businesses? You want to see them reopen, right? Whenever it's safe.
Well, that's not. We also need to support them. People in the community need to understand that these small business people thrive on the business that we give them, and we've been shifting to Amazon and some of these major corporations that are convenient and so forth. But let's get behind some of these businesses. Let's make sure we come down here and shop. Let's get down on State Street and patronize these places.
You got it. That's the bottom line with everything. Anything you think I've forgotten to ask that you think would be important to share with this story? We've gotten so much.
Okay.
Thank you.